We know baseball is a sport where race does not come into question, but of course it was not always like this. There was a time where there was no chance of a black man playing baseball unless it was in the Negro Leagues. About 70 years ago, a white man named Branch Rickey stood up and tried to turn baseball into an integrated sport. Rickey took a big chance trying out this idea, but eventually he turned it into a success. Branch Rickey was born on December 20th, 1881 in Portsmouth, Ohio. Throughout his life, Rickey made many accomplishments. During the 1930s, Rickey developed a system of baseball called the farm system, that is now the minor leagues. Teams involved would be like today's teams of the Pawtucket Paw Sox or the Portland Sea Dogs. Branch Rickey was also the president, general manager, and part owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers. It was with the farm team on the Brooklyn Dodgers, the Montreal Reds, when Rickey decided to set his idea forth. He was going to send Jackie Robinson to the Montreal Reds.
We're tackling something big here, Jackie. If we fail, no one will try again for 20 years. But if we succeed...
If we succeed, Brooklyn will win a pennant.
Yes, that too. But we're dealing with rights here. The right of any American to play baseball, the American game. You think he's our boy, Clyde?
Well, he can run, he can hit, and he can field.
But can he take it?
That I don't know.
What do you think, Jackie?
Well, I can try.
Think you've got guts enough to play the game no matter what happens? They'll shout insults at you, they'll come into your spikes first, they'll throw at your head.
They've been thrown at my head for a long time, Mr. Rickey.
Jackie, we've got no army. There's virtually nobody on our side. No owners, no umpires, very few newspapermen. And I'm afraid that many fans will be hostile. We'll be in a tough position. We can win only if we can convince the world you're a great ball player, a fine gentleman. This was another quote Rickey said in the meeting between him and Jackie Robinson. Rickey's idea was a very risky one. Many threats were made against them. There were also many obstacles they had to overcome.
Come on, Jackie! He's out. No other human being could have made that play.
Mr. Rickey, you really think he is a human being?
Hey there, big boy. What you all doing on a white man's field?
You better get your carcass out of there before you get rode out.
Here's a brother of yours, Jackie. Why don't you take him along? He wants to get into baseball, too.
Fans were not the only ones who did not approve of Rickey's ideas of having a black man in the major leagues. Even the players on the Brooklyn Dodgers hated the idea of having Robinson being on their own team one day.
You call yourselves Americans. Who's your leader? Who started this? Only you signed that petition. You want to deny Robinson the right to play baseball?
I just don't want to be on the same team with him.
Were you born in the United States?
Yes, sir.
And your parents, where were they born?
My father was born in Italy.
And your mother?
She was born in Italy, too.
They came to America before you were born?
Yeah.
And your father, what did he work at when he first came to this country?
On the railroad, he was a laborer.
Your mother, did she work too?
She worked in a shirt factory.
Your father was an immigrant laborer. Did anybody get up a petition to keep him from working on the railroad?
Not that I know of.
Did anybody try to stop your mother from working in the shirt factory? Your parents came to this country from Italy and were allowed to work as free people. And yet you, a child and beneficiary of that freedom, want to deny the same opportunity to an American whose parents and grandparents and great-grandparents have been in this country for 200 years. Is that right? How about you, Dolby? Would you have the courage to strip to the waist and tell Robinson that to his face, here behind closed doors? Tell him to his face that he can't play on the same ball team with you. Tell him you're not going to let him earn his living as a ball player. Answer me, sir.
Mr. Rickey, I wasn't thinking. I didn't think.
And that, sir, explains why your teammates call you Ironhead.
Yes, sir.
Garvin, you've been in baseball a long time. Do you want to play on the Dodgers with Robinson?
No, sir, I don't.
Will you play with Robinson?
I'd rather not, sir.
Would you like to have your contract transferred to another club?
Yes, sir, I would.
I may accommodate you, sir. All right, men. I respect your right to petition. But I do question and I will fight any petition that denies any American the right to earn his living in a game that is supposed to represent the democratic principles of sportsmanship and fair play.
Eventually, those on the Brooklyn Dodgers who did not agree with Rickey's idea at first became accepting of having Robinson on the team. They even stood up for Robinson when he really needed it.
Yeah, get him off. Get him out of here. Anybody here looking for a little argument?
Yes, I am. You're out of the game, too. Me? Yes, you.
Hey, what's that big idea? You dirty old off you. You've been on me. Come on. You heard.
After years of perseverance, more and more black people were accepted into the major leagues. People were becoming more accepting of Rickey's idea of black people in Major League Baseball. Branch Rickey died December 9th, 1965, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame 2 years later. The idea of one man led to the integration of baseball, but that's not it. His idea was really the first true example of the civil rights movement. Baseball has seen some of its greatest black players because of his earlier idea. People like David Ortiz and the newly inducted Hall of Fame members Jim Rice and Rickey Henderson. Branch Rickey is to thank for the game of baseball we know today.